Panzer Dragoon Remake, developed by Megapixel Studios, published by Forever Entertainment, is a next-gen remake of Panzer Dragoon from the early 90s for the Sega Saturn. It's an on-rail shooter that's very linear, but it's also one of the most enjoyable rail shooters I've ever played. It spawned 4 sequels across several different platforms, including Sega Saturn, PC, original Xbox, Switch, and a soon-to-be PS4 and Xbox One version. Panzer Dragoon was always my top favorite Sega franchise ever. Loved it. Growing up, I didn't have a Sega Saturn because they were like $700. One of my best friends had one, and we'd share it. And it was the first game that he bought for it was Panzer Dragoon, and I believe Virtua Fighter. The first time I played Panzer Dragoon, I fell in love with it. I've always been a big fan of dragons and elves and orcs and anything fantasy like Warcraft or Final Fantasy or Lord of the Rings or anything like that. I always loved it, especially stuff to do with dragons. The first game wasn't quite as good as the second. It takes about an hour, hour and a half, 2 hours, I guess. You go through the whole game. It's like 7 really short chapters. In the first game, you have a homing fire. You can just kind of just wave the little cursor around all the enemies, and it'll auto lock them, and you release the fireballs, and you also have a gun. Story's kind of, there's not a whole lot to it. It's kind of weird, strange. Like all the characters in the world have their own language, dialect. They have to read subtitles. Your dragon picks you in these games, so your dragon finds you and claims you as the rider, and you have to stop this other dragon called the Dark Dragon from reaching this tower. Inside this tower, it's kind of like a pyramid. There's this ancient evil force down in there, and you have to stop it. And that's basically the gist of the story. Very beautiful vistas. I mean, they built this thing from the ground up. It's not a remaster with a little shade like it'd be run through an emulator with some filters. It's straight up from the wireframing, meshes and everything, straight up remake. I'm very pleased with it. It's not, like I said, it's not as good as Panzer Dragoon's 2 Way. That was the first game where you could evolve the dragons. You can transform into something better. They are working on that game though. They're developing it right now. Hopefully they do Sagas and Order. I'd like to see them redo all these games. You can pick this up digitally, which is what I did here on the Steam version for about $22. You can also get a physical copy from a limited run for Switch. I pre-ordered one of those, but they're not ready to be shipped out yet because they're trying to patch it with a new patch so you can get 60 frames a second out of it. On PC, it runs a smooth 60, and you can jerk the resolutions up to 4K and anti-aliasing and rapid fire machine guns and God mode and all this other kind of stuff in it once you beat the game. Yeah, man, couldn't be happier with this game. Really enjoyed my little run with it. Definitely recommend this title to everybody out there, especially all you younger gamers who've never played this thing. Give it a try. You might like it, you might not. I loved it. I grew up on it. And I believe it was 2 E3 shows ago before the C-Virus hit. Forever Entertainment announced this and showed a gameplay trailer and everything, and I was just floored. Like, nothing else at the show meant nothing to me, just that. And I actually went on the YouTube page and told them, I'll buy a collector's edition if you make one. They didn't actually make one, Limited Run did, and it wasn't. They were asking way too much money for what they were offering in it. I just got the physical copy, but yeah, I never dreamed they were going to remake this thing the way they did it. Really love it. It's $22 for the digital, $35 for the physical. If Limited Run's still got any copies, y'all go over and get you one. I give this game about an 8. As far as I'm concerned, when they reboot a video game, I just don't believe in giving anything a 9, about an 8. Because it's an old game. But anyway, that's my review. Hope you enjoyed it. Y'all go over and get this game. This is YouTuber BioArmor79. God bless you and your families. Good to give your life to Christ.